Yo, YouTube, what's up? So, it's now time to talk about one of my most anticipated releases of the year, along with the Alice Cooper album, the new Helloween Giants and Monsters. Just dropped on Friday last week. Gotta get this glare out of the way. Best I can do. I need a better setup, that's for sure. So this album, it's right in the perfect timeline, 50 minutes, and it flows very well. Before I get into this review, it might be one of the best, if not the best, Halloween albums where it doesn't stay that long, and none of the songs are overly long or they don't feel overly long. There's a couple 8-minute songs, but overall, it just flows very well. Also, it has a very epic retro Keeper of the Seven Keys 80s feel to it. Many songs, not all of them, but many songs. And I got this version, it's playing in the background on vinyl, Sunburst Yellow. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but every one of their versions are, yeah, you can see it in the glare a little bit. They're the pumpkin logo etched on the side D, the second side of the second vinyl. But let's get it started. Now, what's playing in the background is the first song, and my personal favorite song off the record, Giants on the Run, starts the album off beautifully. Has a very Keeper-esque feel to it. And it's, 6.5 minute song, but I mean, it's just really good. It has the classic sound to it. It picks up and it gets really heavy. You can maybe hear it in the background. Like almost like a, almost like a death metal type vocal there in the middle. Not that heavy, but heavier than most Halloween songs. Then after that, Savior of the World also has a Keeper feel, kind of like, I don't know, maybe Time Marches On, kind of. It's a really solid follow-up to the opening track. Number 3, A Little Is a Little Too Much. Now this one, they released a video on it the same day this album was released, and it's very cheesy and like funny type video, and I think they were going for a little comedy, and it kind of reminds me of like the Pink Bubbles Go Ape kind of. Has a nice like keyboard thing in the middle of it too. So it definitely has the classic Helloween sound there, even though a lot of people don't like that album. I personally like it more than most. I mean, yeah, it's not among their best work, but I've always had a little thing for Pink Bubbles Go Ape. I don't know, always found it cool, despite the bad cover. We Could Be Gods, very melodic song. Kind of reminds me of mid-90s Halloween. Into the Sun Now, this is my second favorite track from the album. It starts off it's like a ballad with Kisuke singing. This album definitely shines for Kisuke. I think he sings more than Dearest does. But it starts off like a slow ballad, and it like picks up in the middle and then cuts back into a ballad again. It kind of reminds me of the slow parts of like in the middle of a heartbeat, but with more melodic and I guess more of a flow and heavier parts to the song, because in the middle of a heartbeat is pretty much a slower song all the way through. Yeah, and Kisuke and Dearest, they kind of like interweave. It's hard to pick out which one sings sometimes because they're very similar at certain times. And I think more artists should do this if they, the first singer leaves or gets fired, but if they remain on good terms and the newer singer agrees to it. Like, these guys complement each other perfectly. They're both amazing singers. Kisuke is one of the best vocalists in my opinion ever, but Dearest is very damn good on his own, and a lot of his solo releases kick ass as well, so they just complement each other very well. Next up is This Is Tokyo, their first single. It's not one of my favorites on the record, but it's definitely a Dearest-driven song. It kind of reminds me of anything from like the 2000s to more modern Halloween. It's a good song, but it's just not my favorite. It's a cool video. Universe, Gravity for Hearts, the second single released, is the epic song off the album, 8 minutes and 24 seconds. and it's a great song. It's very melodic. It's very 80s classic Helloween sound, driven by Kisuke's vocals. Um, to me, this either well, John's on Run is a great opener, so that's perfect. But this could be like the closer song, and I'll get to that in a minute. But it's probably my third favorite song behind Into the Sun and Giants on the Run. It's a really good song. Hand of God is a very melodic, Andy Dearest driven song. Very, like I said, Dearest era, Helloween, late 90s, mid 90s to mid 2000s. Still a good song. Under the Moonlight, which is easily my least favorite song on the record. It's a really short song, kind of like a melodic ballad, but it's not all, it's slower, but I don't know if it's really a total ballad, but it reminds me of like Pink Bubbles Go Ape, Chameleon era. It definitely has that feel to it, and to me, it's the least strong track, the weakest, least strong, whatever. My English sucks. The weakest track on the album, and it's really short. It's the shortest one, 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes. But it's like not awful or anything, but it's just yeah. And then the regular album ends with Majestic, another 8-minute song, and it talks about aliens. It's a very melodic song again, like sort of like Skyfall, but not nearly as good. Skyfall is just an epic, amazing song. Maybe my favorite from both of these new albums. But I mean, the chorus is kind of weak. Majestic. It's always we are majestic. I mean, it's kind of, and that's not a bad song, but you know, the chorus is weak, and I think Universe could have been the last song on it, or maybe even Savior of the World, because it's the classic Helloween sound. Could be like to end the album, but I could see this one why they put it last, because Majestic is a majestic ending to a majestic album, you know, just like Skyfall, talking about aliens and everything. So it's not bad, but the last two songs are probably my least two favorites. And this one comes with the bonus track, Out of Control. It's a very fast-paced hard rocker. I can see why it was a bonus track, because I don't know if it really fits on this record, but it's definitely better than the last two songs, I would say, at least Under the Moonlight. But yeah, it's a good complimentary song. But this album, this version vinyl has that Out of Control, and some don't. There's a few that don't have it, and the German only CD has 3 extra bonus tracks after Out of Control, but it's just like piano or acoustic versions or whatever songs already on here. So you're not getting anything new, just, you know, acoustic versions. So yeah, that's Giants on the Run. I try to run through this pretty quickly because I don't want to keep getting, you know, winded and just boring the shit out of people, because everybody's heard this album by now. But overall, it flows very well. It goes pretty fast. Has a lot of 80s and 90s classic Helloween sound to it, and this is definitely a Kisuke showcase, in my opinion. But he's always been like one of my favorite singers and one of the best melodic singers of all time, in my opinion. And it covers like the 80s and early 90s, even the mid to late 90s and 2000s perfectly. I mean, it also intertwines with the last album, because I could see a couple songs being put on the self-titled album from a few years ago. So do I think this album is better than the Helloween when it came out? I loved it, but I haven't listened to it for a while, and but I think it was once the newness wore off. But overall, since this is new, maybe this will change also, but I think this album is a better album than the last one. And there's not really any throwaway tracks off this one. The last one had a couple, like what was it, Robot King, Cyanide. They weren't that great of a songs, but this one doesn't really have it. Even the last 2 tracks I talked about, they're still better than those 2 songs. So overall, this is one of the best Helloween records ever, in my opinion. It flows very well. It covers, you know, all the basics, or all the classic eras of Helloween. It's very melodic. There's the great ballad on here, and you know, it just everything anyone could ask for. I don't know what I would give it because it's brand new to me, but I would at least give it an 8.5 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5. It's a solid record. I highly recommend checking it out. If you're a fan of Helloween, I'm sure you already have checking it out, or check it. See, like I said, my English. checked it out. But yeah, check it out. Pick up the vinyl if you're a vinyl lover, because there's like a bunch of different colors, and just put it on and enjoy. So that's my so-called, review of the new Helloween Giants and Monsters. So as always, YouTube, I'll put a video here. Keep on rocking. Peace, and see you soon.